So, waiting for the page to come up here, but good evening and thank you all for tuning in. I hope everybody is doing well. It's been a hell of a week, to say the very least. I'm very happy. We're both, of course, very happy with the way the Senate special election, runoff elections turned out in Georgia. That's just an amazing and wonderful thing, and nobody knew what to expect with that. But then the rest of the week, I'm not going to spend a lot of time talking about it because I think that, my whole reason for doing this, as I said in the post that I put up, I had planned on going to every other week in January, instead of the every Saturday night as I've been doing since March. So, but with everything that went on this week, I just thought, so many folks have been in touch with me in one way or another and let me know that these shows that I've been doing every Saturday night have been just such a welcome break from everything going on for the last, certainly the last year, and in many ways for the last 4 years, I guess. So anyhow, I decided to do Saturday night shows at least through January. So I'll continue to do shows every Saturday night at least through January, and then see how things are then. I thought that January after the holidays, things were going to calm down, and I don't know what I was thinking, but as I said, I'm not going to talk a whole lot about that. I have a song called "The World's Gone Crazy" that I'll sing a little bit later, and that says really just about everything that I have to say about the events this week. So, and as I said, I think everybody maybe is tuning in to maybe get a break, somewhat of a break from all of that. So I'll start off with a couple of songs that, of course, all of my songs are favorites of mine, but these especially are just feel good to me as a way to start out. Couple of songs from an album a few years back called Sweet Bernadine. This is a song, the first song is a song called Mexicali Train, and it's about a train trip that I took many years ago from Mexicali, Mexico, down to Puerto Vallarta. It was an amazing trip. I had never been anywhere like that at that time. I saw things I had never seen before. I saw some things I have never seen since. But one of the things I discovered was that you can't outrun your heartaches. That they're going to travel along with you, sort of like an unwelcome companion. This is called Mexicali Train. To do that a little bit better. The bus to Mexicali, I counted up my bills and all my change. As we rolled on past Tecate, through the mountains and the deserts and the sage. Well, in my mind I hear you talking all the same words time and time again, till the only thing that's left for me is leaving on the Mexicali train. Well, I stumbled off the bus and through the crowded streets went looking for a sign. Past the old men and the vendors, the women who keep giving me the eye. Well, if you ever really loved me, now it's only just the memories that remain. And from the station to the platform, I step onto the Mexicali train. Mexicali down to Guaymas and the dusty streets of Ciudad Obregón. Yeah, chickens, dogs, and children running through the car like something's going on. Kerouac and Cassidy, their ghosts still drift across these open plains. As I struggle with the ghosts that follow me onto this Mexicali train. I wake up in the moonlight, passing through some town that's lost in time. By now the car is empty, just some low and dirty voices from behind. Well, if they thought to try and take me, soon enough they see their plan is all in vain. Because I'm just another homeless soul riding on the Mexicali train. And in the darkness and the loneliness, your memory keeps filling up my mind. Your taste, your smell, and all those tender nights are just so hard to leave behind. Wonder if I ever can forget or ever love someone again. Yeah, but for now I'll try to lose myself somewhere inside this Mexicali train. And if the station in Tequila, the morning sun is blazing in the sky, and the train is filling up with calls of buenos dias and goodbye. And the voice of Castaneda echoes out among the cars like a refrain. And once again I'll try to lose myself somewhere inside this Mexicali train. Once again I'll try to lose myself somewhere inside this Mexicali train. Thank you, baby. Susie's here with me, and Katie, our hound dog, is under the table there. Behaving very well. Katie's a good dog for the most part. Katie's a very family-oriented, pack-oriented dog. She keeps her eye on all of us, very protective, guarding her space here. She likes her yard. She does not run out of her yard. She is not a runner. She's not a dog that we have to worry about too much, leaving the gate open or anything. The only thing I will say about Katie is that she does not do well around other dogs. She's looking at me from under the table. So it makes it difficult to walk her, and we've had her for about 6 years, 5-6 years. And I take her for walks every day, sometimes twice a day, and I've worked really hard on her. And she's gotten a lot better. She was almost out of control when we first got her, but now she behaves fairly well and is in control. But she gets pretty worked up when she sees other dogs, especially if they're close, and especially if they're aggressive in any kind of way. But I think that might be kind of peculiar to her breed a little bit. She's a red heeler. She's a work dog. She's a cattle dog. So I'm going to do a song called the Mariachi Hotel, and there's an old hotel. The Mariachi Hotel is an old hotel in East Los Angeles and Boyle Heights that over the years, mariachi musicians would travel up to Southern California area looking for work usually, and they would gravitate to this one particular hotel. And oftentimes a friend, a cousin that played mariachi music would be living there, and oftentimes these guys that just came into town would move in there, and over a period of time an amazing thing happened, and this particular hotel became a hotel full of mariachi musicians. And for a period of time, if you wanted to hire a mariachi band in Los Angeles, you could go there, and if these guys did not have another engagement somewhere, they would oftentimes stand around the outside of the hotel on the sidewalk with their instruments and their uniforms, and you could pull up, talk a little bit, talk about money. They might play a little bit as an audition, and if everything was agreeable, they would jump into the car or the truck with you and off to the quinceañera or the barbecue, and that was how you could hire a mariachi band for many years in Los Angeles. So this song talks about these guys and refers to them, many of them by name, and it talks about their struggles, same struggles artists and musicians face everywhere. But a lot of these guys will adopt a kind of a new identity, and take a new name for themselves, sort of a showbizy, sort of stage name kind of a thing, except it will oftentimes be something sort of mystical or fantastic. So this is called the Mariachi Hotel. The eagle is wearing his red poncho, decorated with a white reindeer. There are rats here, he tells me, his voice soft and low, but it's the dogs and the lions that I fear. I come here each day, and I stand on these streets. My home's the Mariachi Hotel. And Cecilia, she cries, as I'm sinking so fast. It's a story she knows all too well. El Garabo, he says that things aren't so good. His trumpet is battered and worn. He left for 1 year. He must convalesce. His battle with liquor is still strong, but the iguana is back, and he's here on these streets where his father once taught him so well. And Cecilia, she cries like a babe in the night for the souls in the Mariachi Hotel. Dracula came, and he liked what he saw, and he stayed till he left just a shell. The plaza by day, he roamed as he pleased. Nights the Mariachi Hotel. Now Dracula's gone, but still they drift in with their horns and their fiddles, and they yell. And Cecilia looks down as they sleep through the night in the arms of the Mariachi Hotel. Yes, Cecilia looks down as they sleep through the night in the arms of the Mariachi Hotel. Thank you, baby. And thank you all out there. I'll send that song out to my friend Mona, who just said she likes that. And also Espy Seymour, who grew up, I think, I know she grew up in Boyle Heights in that area, but I think she said she could see the Mariachi Hotel from where she lived there in Boyle Heights in East LA. So I hope you're both listening, and I hope everybody is well. I'm going to do a song from my new album. Here it is. It's still doing real well. I've got 2 or 3 or 4 new reviews, or very good reviews. I didn't post anything on Facebook this week. I just thought I would wait. It just didn't seem like a good time to do that. But I'll post them sometime during the next week or so. One of them's from Italy, and very good review. And I have a bit of news. Everything is not quite finalized yet, so I think it's okay to make the announcement. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm going to go ahead anyhow. The album, my new album, will be released in Italy on the Appaloosa label. And I'm very excited about that. So I've been talking to them for the last, the people at Appaloosa, wonderful people, and emailing and talking back and forth and working out details. And it's in the process, so I'm confident it will happen. And the release date, and this, they've said that they're good with the release date that we've set up for publicity in Ireland and the UK. The publicist that's been working on publicity in Europe, but kind of concentrating on Ireland and the UK. The release date is February 12th, Friday, February 12th. And the Italian label Appaloosa said they're good with that, so I think that will be the release date in Italy. And I think the Italian release includes Sweden, but that's... As I said, details are being worked out, but anyhow, I'm very excited about that. But I'm going to do a song from the new album. When I wrote this is a song called Big Rain is Coming, Mama, and I always talk about the storms that have been coming through Louisiana, New Orleans, and southeast Texas this year. 30 storms, 30 major hurricanes. It's been an unbelievable year for weather. Very rough year, and so our hearts go out to everybody that's had to live through that. I think it's calmed down now, but the other thing that I had in mind when I wrote this song is it's not just a big weather event. It's not just a big storm. It's sort of I felt like it kind of talked about the what we've been going through for the last year, really the last 4 years. And kind of had an apocalyptic sort of a theme about it. And a lot of people have picked up on that, especially in the reviews, have talked about that. So I think that a lot of people kind of got that from the song also. So this is called Big Rain is Coming, Mama. I'm going to send this out to Liam. Is Liam listening? Can you tell? This is one that he likes to dance to. He's not here today, but anyhow, go send it out to Jesse and Nikki and little Liam. Where the big rain is coming, mama, better start to batten it down. Hey, the rich folks all leaving, the big boat's already left town. Well, I got a rusty old bucket and a busted old knife. Don't look like much, but it might save your life. Big rain is coming, mama, better start to batten it down. Hey, the big wind is blowing, mama, the leaves all starting to fly. You better close up your windows, bring all your chickens inside. Well, it starts with a whisper, turns into a scream. Things start to shake like you've never seen. Big wind is blowing, mama, the leaves all starting to fly. Hey, the big storm's coming, mama, the water's started to rise. You better start to take cover, try to find a place you can hide. Hey, let go of your grievances, it's time to move on. Say a little prayer, mama, we might all be gone. Big storm's coming, mama, the water's started to rise. Hey, the big rain is coming, mama, better start to batten it down. Hey, the rich folks all leaving, the big boat's already left town. Well, I got a rusty old bucket and a busted old knife. Don't look like much, but it might save your life. Big rain is coming, mama, better start to batten it down. Well, I got a busted old bucket and a rusty old knife. Don't look like much, but it might save your life, mama. Big rain is coming, mama, better start to batten it down. Hey, the big rain is coming, mama, better start to batten it down. Hey, the big rain is coming, mama, better start to batten it down. Thank you very much. Thank you, baby. And thank you, everybody. So, last week, kind of last minute, I guess, my friend Pat Cronin, who we know each other, from my, a lot through my sister Lucy, who is gone now. But anyhow, Pat and I went to high school together at the same time. She was in my sister Lucy's class. Lucy was just a year older than me. I like to call ourselves Irish twins, Mexican twins, but we really weren't. We were more than a year apart. I don't know if anybody's familiar with that expression, but Mexican twins, Irish twins, that's brother and sister or two brother, whatever, that two kids that are born within the same year. So it's kind of a humorous expression. It is to me anyhow. But my sister Lucy is gone. Pat and I know each other from high school, and Pat asked me to play this song last week, and I had the set list written out already. So I'm going to send this out to you, Pat. This is a song called The Road to Jericho from my last album. And the Road to Jericho is an old road. It's an ancient road. It goes from the city of Jerusalem to the city of Jericho. In ancient times, it was a popular road. It was a well-used, well-traveled road, but it was a dangerous road. It was a treacherous road. You took your chances with robbers and thieves along the road to Jericho. It's where the story from the Old Testament of the Good Samaritan, that took place along the road to Jericho. And gone to Jericho is also an expression for things to have gone to hell. This is the first song I wrote after the elections in 2016, and I can't even describe how troubled and upset I was. I did not sleep at all that night. I just thought we were going into a very dark place, and I kind of, I didn't know what to expect, and listening to people, it seemed that most people kind of felt the same way. People that I know did not know what to expect and were very concerned and very upset. So we've lived through 4 years of this, and we've seen now what to expect. And what this can all turn into. But the one thing that I did know at the time as I was writing this song is whatever was going to happen, we were all going to have to go through it together, and that's what we've been doing. This song kind of talks about the conflicts between people that know each other, between family a little bit. It's called The Road to Jericho. The sun comes up, the sun goes down, shadows lay across the ground. That old dark cloud is hanging low down the road to Jericho. My father said he'd meet me there, open doors and room to share. My brother begged me not to go down the road to Jericho. My mother's voice called out to me, long forgotten memories. My sister warned me, travel slow down the road to Jericho. A stranger soon came passing by, stopped to rest and dry his eyes. He turned and started walking slow down the road to Jericho. Now all our sins are plain to see, and all that's left is what will be. And all the peace we'll ever know is down the road to Jericho. The sun comes up, the sun goes down, shadows lay across the ground. That old dark cloud is hanging low down the road to Jericho. Down the road to Jericho. Thank you, baby. That's the road to Jericho. I'll send that out to Pat Cronin, like I said. Katie may be coming over here for a little bit of attention, maybe not. So I'm going to do another song from that same album. The album's, my last album before this latest one is called The Town Where I Live. And this is a song called Hold On Jake. It's just kind of a crazy song. Not really much to say about that. One of the beauties of rock and roll to me has always been that it does not have to make sense. It doesn't have to really be about anything. Here's Katie. You can see this fine. Can you see any of it? Can you see anything? You can't see. A little bit of a couple of fine ears there. Katie is part, from what research I could do, she's a cattle dog, like I said, and she's a cross between an English cattle dog and dingo. She's an Australian cattle dog. So I take that to be the big ears. I think that's where the big ears came from. And maybe some of the wild nature. So I don't know. But anyhow, she's a good dog. Just doesn't play well always with others, do you? That's something that was on my report cards quite a bit too. So we have that in common. She's not afraid to speak her mind either. I'll give her that. So this is called Hold On Jake. Hold on, Jake, time is moving slowly. Hold on, Jake, don't you sing a sad tune. The other thing I'm thinking about, Jake is a dog. Jake is the name of a friend of ours' dog. So this, anyhow, I'm going to start it over. I didn't get a good start. Hold on, Jake, time is moving slowly. Hold on, Jake, don't you sing a sad tune. Weather's rough, the road's a little rocky. But hold on, Jake, Mama's coming home soon. You got $1, I got a dime. You get the liquor, I'll get the wine. Cain starts to shout, Abel starts to holler. Moses called a sheriff for the very last time. Hold on, Jake, time is moving slowly. Hold on, Jake, don't you sing a sad tune. Weather's rough, the road's a little rocky. Hold on, Jake, Mama's coming home soon. Mama's got a pistol, Papa's got a gun. It's not a lot of difference when you gotta run. Daniel can't dance and Lucy's in a corner. Cindy's gone to Reno with the Good Shepherd's son. Hold on, Jake, time is moving slowly. Hold on, Jake, don't you sing a sad tune. Weather's rough, the road's a little rocky. Hold on, Jake, Mama's coming home soon. Hey, you can hold on to faith or hold on to something. Hold on to whiskey if it gets the job done. Throw it all away, it's all a little risky, like some old hound dog used to laying in the sun. Hold on, Jake, time is moving slowly. Hold on, Jake, don't you sing a sad tune. Weather's rough, the road's a little rocky. Hold on, Jake, Mama's coming home soon. Hold on, Jake, time is moving slowly. Hold on, Jake, don't you sing a sad tune. Weather's rough, the road's a little rocky. Hold on, Jake, Mama's coming home soon. Hold on, Jake. Hold on, Jake. Hold on, Jake. So I don't know if you all could hear, but Susie took Katie out. She was kind of the reason she came up to me, and she wanted a treat. She kind of gets a treat around this time of the day. So she was looking forward to coming over to me. Didn't get it from me, so that's what she was howling about. So Susie took her outside and gave her these treats that we have for her that she likes a lot. But then she immediately started barking up the neighborhood. I don't know if you could hear that, but she was barking up some dogs going by or something. So, did you bring her back in, or you left her out? So I'm going to do another song off of the new album. This is a song called Nashville Blues, song about the perils of show business. It's kind of a goofy song to me. I did not take this song real seriously when I wrote it, but it was mentioned in a review this last week, and the fellow writing the review, and I thought this might happen, but he seemed to take it a lot more seriously than I intended it. And it's sort of about broken dreams in a sense, but the guy that wrote the review, wonderful review too, and I'm very happy about it. But this is a hard thing to do when you're singing the song and you're the narrator. It's hard not to think that what I'm singing about is exactly personal, but oftentimes it's not. He talks about me being bitter towards Nashville, and I am not at all in any way, shape, or form. I have wonderful, wonderful friends in Nashville, and tremendous respect for many of my favorite artists have been there, are there now, have been there all through the years. This song is just a kind of a goofy perspective on show business, the music business, and that's the goofy part of it to me, the show business part of it. That's the crazy part, that anyone would ever spend their lives pursuing this sort of thing. It's just it's sort of madness in a lot of ways. And not that I'm unhappy with what I have done. I'm very, very happy. I've been able to do this for a lifetime, which is a difficult thing to do. And also keep a family. I have a loving family that I love very much. I think they like me. They seem to put up with me. So I consider myself very, very fortunate. So all I'm saying is don't take this song too seriously. I'm real glad I never went to Nashville. Yeah, things probably wouldn't have worked out anyway. Yeah, well, I've got a lot of friends that moved to Nashville. And sometimes they say they wonder why they stay. Well, I might have had some better luck in Nashville. I might have got a better gig or two. Hear about all the drunks and fallen stars in the honky tonks and bars. Say I'm better off at home singing the blues. Yeah, folks used to say, man, you gotta move to Nashville. That's where Hank and George and Johnny got their start. And yeah, it's true, they all got real big in Nashville. But it's also where their lives all fell apart. But still a good song can make you rich in Nashville. At least that's what I've always heard folks say. But then you're bound to go insane with girls and sweet cocaine, and I guess that's just the price you gotta pay. I guess I'm never gonna get to Nashville. I guess I'll just stay here and sing the blues. But if you go and see my friends in Nashville, say hello and have a drink or two. Well, I don't know if I'll shed a tear for Nashville, or worry about the way things might have been. All you can do is play your cards. Sometimes your dreams die hard, and I guess that's just the way things happen in the end. Yeah, all you can do is play your cards. Sometimes your dreams die hard, and I guess that's just the way things happen in the end. There's Katie the hound dog barking. So I send that song out to my friend Peter Davies in Liverpool. He told me he likes that song. I don't know if, thank you, baby. I don't know if Peter, of course, Liverpool time, Greenwich Mean Time right now is, what time? 2 o'clock in the morning, I think. 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock. So they're often not listening the night of. But they'll listen oftentimes the next day. But Gladys, my friend Gladys from the Train Tribe, from the Train Trips, oftentimes will be listening Oslo time, which would be an hour even earlier, later. Oh, man. I get on a plane, I don't know where the time is going. I'll do another song off of, not the latest, but by the album before this. This is the first song we recorded for this album, the last album, The Town Where I Live, and it usually takes one to get things started, and this one was it. I had written the song. I hadn't written anything for a little while, and kind of worked on this for a little bit, and my friend Stephen Pat, Dr. Pat, the rock and roll doctor, he liked this song a lot. And so he took it upon himself he got us in the studio and he helped produce it. And we worked at Kevin Jarvis' studio over there in Venice, and a fine facility and room. And with the guys that had been playing with me on all the live gigs for the last 4, 5, 6 years. Dave Hall for probably 25 years. But anyhow, it just kind of occurred to me as we were playing the song and recording that I could record the whole album with just those guys. And we did that, and I was very happy about that. It did not turn out that way for the latest album, for a number of reasons, not the least of which was we've all been locked in our houses for the last getting close to a year now. So, but that's a different story. This song is called Trouble Like This. Dark clouds rising up out of the east, and I've seen trouble like this before. Black crows flying from the sycamore trees, and I've seen trouble like this before. I've seen trouble like this, I've seen trouble like this, and I've seen trouble like this before. Cold rain and thunder falling all around me, and I've seen trouble like this before. Stevie and Johnny, the south part of town, and I've seen trouble like this before. They all liquored up, and some fights coming down. And I've seen trouble like this before. I've seen trouble like this. I've seen trouble like this. And I've seen trouble like this before. The harsh words and anger and the blood on the ground. And I've seen trouble like this before. Yeah, you struggle, you stumble, you fumble and fall, and try to rise when you can. When you think that you might find a place to hold on, it all slips right out of your hand. Long nights and whiskey and hard memories, and I've seen trouble like this before. She's broken, she's crying, she's ready to leave, and I've seen trouble like this before. I've seen trouble like this, I've seen trouble like this, and I've seen trouble like this before. Your whole world is crumbling and you're down on your knees. And I've seen trouble like this before. The dark clouds and devils dancing all around me. And I've seen trouble like this before. Thank you, baby. So I'm going to go back a little ways here and do a song that my sister Cindy asked me to play. She asked me to play a couple of songs. I didn't have time to work up the other, but I wanted to play this one for her. This goes back a number of years, 20 years now, I guess, or more. as a friend of mine posted on Facebook about his album, he says, "This album is old enough to drink now." So I guess it meant it was 20 years ago. My friend Frank Drennan, talking about one of his older albums. But so this applies to this song. This song is old enough to drink, I guess. And I might have a drink with it later. But this phrase, "a bend in the river," comes from, it's something that John Wayne said in a movie called Hell's Angels, of course, many, many years ago. And he turns to the girl, whoever that was in the movie, I forget, but I'm not sure I've seen the movie actually, but he says, as he's going away, "I'm going to come back and I'm going to build you a home by the bend in the river," he says. But Joanne Didion writes about this in her great book, what is it, Crawling Towards Bethlehem. But she talks about her personal experience growing up and what the movie and what John Wayne represented to her. But none of that really matters. This is a song about kind of losing. I've written a couple of songs about losing track of where you belong, and you know, things can turn out a lot differently for you sometimes in your life. And that's kind of what this song is about. I'm just going to go ahead and sing it. This is called "A Bend in the River." There's a bend in the river where the cottonwoods grow. The bluebird is calling, the waters run slow. I'll build you a house with a gate down below, by the bend in the river where the cottonwoods grow. She was a treasure with soft auburn hair and hazel green eyes. No prisoner no prisoner she spared. The blacksmith's first daughter, just all of 18. She told me she loved me where the waters run clean. But me, just a farm boy, no money, no name, I drifted off slowly toward the Wyoming range. She left her there waiting, she told me she would, where the river runs shallow by the old cottonwood. Yeah, there's a bend in the river where the cottonwoods grow. The bluebird is calling, the waters run slow. I'll build you a house with a gate down below, by the bend in the river where the cottonwoods grow. Summers and winters, through wind and through rain, over mountains and prairies I carried her name. The high winds were lonesome, the treetops they moaned, and the cold cut right through me, right straight to the bone. Yeah, but too many seasons alone for too long, a man can lose track of just where he belongs, and trouble lies waiting in the devil's best clothes, at a turn on the highway or a fork in the road. Yeah, there's a bend in the river where the cottonwoods grow. The bluebird is calling, the waters run slow. I'll build you a house with a gate down below, by the bend in the river where the cottonwoods grow. There's a tree on a hillside, the creek there below, and shadows spread slowly on a late winter snow. The silence unbroken, the bluebird had flown toward the river that's calling me forever home. Yeah, there's a bend in the river where the cottonwoods grow. The bluebird is calling, the waters run slow. I'll build you a house with a gate down below, by the bend in the river where the cottonwoods grow. Yeah, there's a bend in the river where the cottonwoods grow. The bluebird is calling, the waters run slow. I'll build you a house with a gate down below, by the bend in the river where the cottonwoods grow. So a young man goes off to seek his fortune so he can come back and marry the girl that he loves, and who knows what trouble he winds up in. I kind of fumbled there because I had a little brainstorm, and I remember that the Joanne Didion book is called Slouching Towards Bethlehem, not Crawling Towards Bethlehem. I wasn't too far off. But it occurred to me that I have sometimes a fairly literate audience watching, and I just kind of pictured somebody maybe corrected. Did anybody correct me? I didn't get corrected. So anyhow, I beat you to it. If you were going to correct me, the book is Slouching Towards Bethlehem. It's a very dark sort of a book to me in a lot of ways. A lot of Joanne Didion's writing is. She's kind of brutal. She didn't cotton to the hippies too much. She felt like she saw right through them, and there was a lot of scamminess. I was actually around a bit of that in those days, and she's not incorrect that a lot of the people that were around in those days were sort of scammy sort of people. But to me, that doesn't entirely tarnish the image of the whole love generation, 1969. I wasn't really around for 1969. I was kind of around a few years after. But anyhow, Joanne Didion, you read her just because she is such a good writer. It's unbelievable. Her ability to put a sentence together and put a story together. But anyhow, I was going to see if we say hello to a few people. Susie's been writing down some. She usually gives me something to read a few names from, and I got a few people that I want to thank from last week. Richard Smith. I had it written down and I left it on the other piece of paper. Richard, I think part of the Train tribe in the Wisconsin area or Illinois. Anyhow, Richard, thank you very much. Steve and Jeannie Trutanich down in San Pedro, listening often. Dale and Dorinda up in Ventura now, aren't they? Dale and Dorinda have moved up to Ventura. Jim Canales, also part of the Train tribe in Wisconsin. That's maybe who I was thinking of, Richard. But Jim has listened from the beginning, and wonderful, great friend. I've been to Jim's house and played a house concert there, and been to the radio station. Jim has a wonderful radio program. Been very supportive there in Stevens Point at the college. So Rick Converse down there in Orange County, Robert Lloyd, my friend, the writer for the LA Times, television writer, and Robert and I also played in maybe a couple of different musical ventures, or maybe it was just with Sid Straw, the great Sid Straw. So Robert and I have sort of musical background, I guess, somewhat. Rick LaGruda. The last few weeks. Thank you very much for tuning in. Terry and Bob Nickham down in Orange County have been supporters of mine for so long. I have to get out the calendar and go back in time or something. So thank you, Terry and Bob. I love you. Richie Lawrence up there in Sacramento area. Richie and his wife Katie posted a wonderful song in the last couple of weeks that they had written together. But Richie is kind of more often known for his accompanying other people. I met him through my friends Icy Hawks in L.A., and I'm sure that we played together with the Hawks a number of times. And then Richie also plays with Oh, now I'm going to forget. But anyhow, a great musician. Richie, how you doing? Len Pavelka. Hey, thank you very much. Michael Pfister, been tuning in. Thank you, Michael. And Michael Hart down there in Houston, Texas. Great photographer and an artist also. Thank you, Michael. Martha up in the Northeast Corridor up there in Vermont at Saxons or Saxons River. I forget which one it is. Jesse, I'm going to skip the line. Jesse, Nikki, and Liam out in Rancho Cucamonga. Matt and Amber. These are my kids. Jesse and Matt are my sons, and Nikki is my soon-to-be daughter-in-law, and Matt and Amber up in Azusa here. They're close by. Amber, maybe soon to be my daughter-in-law, our daughter-in-law also. We're waiting for... Anyhow, I better not put any pressure on. Anyhow, sorry. Anyhow, my mother-in-law, Susie's mom, is listening out in Rialto with my sister Joy. Martha, I said hello. Cheryl out in San Bernardino. Joy, Cheryl, we go way back to high school, or Susie and Cheryl go back to high school, and I've known Cheryl, I guess, since I've known Susie. Robert Kwan is tuned in. Thank you, Robert. Joy out there in Rialto. My sister Joy. Dina, the wolf out there in the desert. Dina, we may be coming out to shoot a video out in your desert. I hope we can get permission from you. Bob and Terry Nickham are listening. Fred Vaughn out there in North Carolina. Fred from the Train Tribe. Howdy, Fred. Thank you. Mike Donahue also from the Train Tribe. Anybody just tuning in, I'll try and explain a little bit about what the Train Tribe is later. But Mike Donahue up in Chicago. Lisa LeBeau down in... Lisa is listening. My friend Lisa down in New Orleans. Glenn Meir. Glenn, I'm glad you're tuning in. Kathy Phillips. Glad you're tuning in. It's my sister Cindy, who I just sang the last song for up in Reno with her husband Jim, my brother-in-law, oftentimes with their newest granddaughter, Kessie, and Darcy and Mike, my niece, and Mike would be my nephew-in-law. Her husband, thank you. So anyhow, very glad you're listening. Linda Heideke, Terry and Dan down in Oceanside, I believe. Terry and I know each other going back to junior high school, I think. Pamela Gregory, also Train Trips. Pamela, so glad you're tuning in. Dominic, also from Train Trips. Pamela is in Santa Monica area, I believe, and Dominic is in Maryland, my home state. I was born in the state of Maryland. Too long ago for me to announce it on a public forum. But Dominic, I'm so glad you're listening. Scott Thames is listening. Scott, don't know where you're from. Thank you very much for tuning in. Nancy Pepper also. Gary Elfring in Chicago World. Gary and I go way back musically and stuff. Robbie Woodrell, Millie Morris, George Petch. George, I forget how to say your last name. George, we know each other from the Fred House, the guitar store that I work at or worked at until the whole pandemic shutdown. So George is out in Pomona, where I'm trying to think a few people. Tom Waits comes from Pomona. There's a couple of drawing a blank. Anyhow, Tom Waits is enough. If you live in the town that Tom Waits comes from, you don't have to remember anybody else. Joe Gasworth, great mastering engineer. Joe, I'm glad you're listening. Lawrence Bender over there on the west side, Santa Monica. I'm going to sing a song here and then get back to the rest of that. There's a few more names there to mention, but I very much appreciate everybody tuning in. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Last week I sang a few Townes Van Zandt songs because Townes Van Zandt left us on New Year's Day in 1953, I believe it was. Townes Van Zandt, no. I was getting ahead of myself. Townes Van Zandt left us in 1998 or 99, I can't remember. But on New Year's Day... So last week, the day after, I sang a few Townes Van Zandt songs, some of my favorites. And the other New Year's Day passing is, of course, Hank Williams, who left us on New Year's Day, 1953. So I'm going to do a couple of Hank Williams songs, a couple of my favorites. You were waving your hand. Were you trying to get my attention there, darling?
Well, Pamela Gregory says, wait a minute, Pamela Gregory's I'm from New York. You can buy on Facebook.
Oh, Pamela Gregory that I mentioned is actually not the Pamela Gregory that I mentioned. Yes, Pamela, there's a Pamela Gregory that we know well that lives in Santa Monica, that's been on the train trips. This Pamela Gregory that is listening is from Brooklyn, New York, so very happy that you're listening. And sorry I got you confused. John Langford, the great John Langford tuned in. Howdy, howdy, John. Thank you so much for tuning in. So I'm going to sing a Hank Williams song. This is probably the first Hank Williams song that I heard, that I remember hearing as a kid, as a very popular song, recorded by many, many people. I'm sure that it wasn't the Hank Williams version that I heard, maybe Fats Domino, hard to say, but it's more fun if you sing along, so please join in. Goodbye, Joe, me gotta go, me ho my oh. Me gotta go pull the pirogue down the bayou. My Yvonne, the sweetest one, me ho my oh. Son of a gun, we're gonna have big fun on the bayou. Yeah, jambalaya, a crawfish pie, and a filet gumbo. Lord, tonight I'm gonna see my machete mio. We'll dress in style and go hog wild, me oh my oh. Hey, son of a gun, we're gonna have big fun on the bayou. Yeah, Fountain O, Thibodeau, the place is buzzing. Kinfolk come to see Yvonne by the dozen. We'll pick guitars and fill fruit jars and big ale. Here, son of a gun, we're gonna have big fun on the bayou. Yeah, jambalaya and a crawfish pie and a filet gumbo. Lord, tonight I'm gonna see my machete mio. We'll pick guitars and fill fruit jars and big ale. Hey, son of a gun, we're gonna have big fun on the bayou. Yeah, Fountain O, Thibodeau, the place is buzzing. Kinfolk come to see Yvonne by the dozens. We'll dress in style and go hog wild, me oh my oh. Hey, son of a gun, we're gonna have big fun on the bayou. Yeah, jambalaya and a crawfish pie and a filet gumbo. Lord, tonight I'm gonna see my machete mio. We'll pick guitars and fill fruit jars and big ale. Hey, son of a gun, we're gonna have big fun on the bayou. Yeah, jambalaya and a crawfish pie and a filet gumbo. Hey, tonight I'm gonna see my machete mio. We'll pick guitars, fill fruit jars and big ale. Hey, son of a gun, we're gonna have big fun on the bayou. Yeah, son of a gun, we're gonna have big fun on the bayou. Yeah, son of a gun, we're gonna have big fun on the bayou. Send that out to all of our friends in Louisiana. Hope somebody's listening. Oh, Lisa's listening, so very glad about that. I was singing that, and I was thinking about, I'm going to do another Hank Williams song here, but the expression fade-o-do, and it's in fade-o-do is occurs in many songs. Fade-o-do is it's also a dance or it's a get together, or going to the Fado-Do. But I was looking this up one time. I was trying to write a song with that expression, and so I did a little research. And Fado-Do in the French Cajun language actually means, it's an old lullaby, and it means go to sleep, baby. Because when the little family, the family would go to the dance, the women, of course, would be in charge of the children, and the men would be out at the dance, and the women would be trying to get their children, their babies, to go to sleep. So they would be singing this song, Fado-Do, please, it's kind of please go to sleep, little baby, because they wanted to get back out to the party, and they wanted to keep an eye on their husbands who were out there drinking and dancing with all of the women that didn't have to worry about their babies right at that moment. So that's what I remember from my research. It's been a long time. I hope I didn't get that wrong or too wrong. So here's another of my favorite. Here comes Katie the hound dog. Hound dog. So there she is for her little. I wish I could set the camera up to get a shot. She has a beautiful coat. So we don't really get to see you. Sit up. Can you see her? I'd have to grab her collar. That would not be nice. So go lay down or something. Another one of my favorite Hank Williams songs here. I played in bars and honky tonks for many, many years. That's how I made my living, playing 5, 6, 7 nights a week. Katie expressing herself. And we played a lot of Hank Williams songs. It's where I learned, it's where I got introduced to a lot of the older songs. So this is one of the favorites from back then, and even much later, I still play this song now. I recorded this version of it. This is my version of the Honky Tonk Blues. Well, I left my home out on the rural route. Told my pop I'm going stepping out and get the honky tonk blues. Hey, the honky tonk blues. Oh, Lord, I've got the honky tonk blues. Well, I went to a dance and I wore out my shoes. Woke up this morning wishing I could lose these jumping honky tonk blues. Hey, the honky tonk blues. Oh, Lord, I've got the honky tonk blues. Well, I stopped into every place in town. This city life has really got me now. I've got the honky tonk blues. Yeah, the honky tonk blues. Oh, Lord, I've got the honky tonk blues. I'm on gonna tuck my worries underneath my arm, scat right back to my pappy's farm and lose these honky-tonk blues. Hey, the honky-tonk blues. Oh, Lord, I've got the honky-tonk blues. Well, I don't wanna be bothered, yeah, with the honky-tonk blues. Thank you very much. Thank you, baby. That goes out to David and Carol in Fulton, Missouri, at the sheep farm. Also, members of the train tribe, been on many, many train trips. What was I thinking about on that song? I had something I was going to talk about. But anyhow, I'll go on and do another song off of the new album. This is the new album, which is available from my website or really any online music, retailer. And honestly, I don't have any problem with where people buy. If you're buying the album, my job is done. It doesn't matter to me where you're buying it from. I'm happy if people buy, even from Amazon. I shouldn't say it that way. I'm happy if people buy from Amazon. It's there's some controversy and everything, of course, but everything is available there, and I'm happy my albums are available there. So. Yes, I'm happy people are buying the album. You can buy it from me if you like. This is the first song on the new album. This is an old song by a Louisiana fellow. We got a 5-alarm dog here when we get a delivery or anything like that, so I'm sure we just got a package or something like that. So I think it's going to be okay. Is there a little package there or something?
Yeah.
You want to grab it?
Yep.
So we're going to grab the package off the porch. I got lucky and it did not happen mid-song. I probably would have had to stop. So anyhow, this is a song by a fellow by the name of Al Ferrier, who's a Louisiana fellow. And kind of South Louisiana, kind of New Orleans area. He was a rockabilly guy. Swamp rock kind of a guy. He's very cool. Wonderful songs. Stayed local, I guess. And the first version I heard of this song was by Lazy Lester. And both versions are pretty excellent to me. This is a song called Blues. She just licked me and got me right about. Stop knocking at my door. Usually I'm smart enough to dodge it, but she got right in my mouth that time. Blues, stop knocking at my door. Hi. Messed me up. Blues, stop knocking at my door. Can't you see my heart is sore? Blues, stop knocking at my door. What chance has this heart of mine? I keep losing all the time. Blues, stop knocking at my door. Oh, why can't misery set me free and let my love come back to me? Everything I do is wrong. In a crowd I'm all alone. Blues, stop knocking at my door. Why should I feel so blue? I've tried so hard to be true. Blues, stop knocking at my door, saying my lover back to me. Yeah, no more will there be blues knocking at my door. Oh, why can't misery set me free and let my love come back to me? Send my lover back to me. Yeah, no more will there be blues knocking at my door. Oh, why can't misery set me free and let my love come back to me? Send my lover back to me. Yeah, no more will there be blues knocking at my door. Send my lover back to me. Yeah, no more will there be blues knocking at my door. Yeah, blues knocking at my door. Oh, blues, stop knocking at my door. Thank you, baby. I had Katie the hound dog right there crowding me at my feet for about half of that, but that's okay. Katie is actually a pretty good audience. Of course, these days we're all home all of the time, but before the pandemic, this room, I have a studio. I have a little studio set up in my garage, and that's where I've recorded my last 3 or 4 or 5 albums or so. But a lot of times I'll kind of just play guitar and sing here in this room, our living room. It's a nice sounding room, and it's a little more comfortable and everything. And Katie will spend time in here with me, and she'll walk right up and lay down at my feet and kind of. So I don't know if she's enjoying the songs or not, but that's good enough for me. Just kind of coming in and sitting down and laying down and hanging out. And she'll come out to my studio too and hang out. So I'm going to do another song off of the new album. This is a song called the Down at the Bar at Gypsy Sally's. And Gypsy Sally's, of course, comes from, that's a reference to the Gypsy Sally in the great Townes Van Zandt song, what's that song called, baby? Tecumseh Valley. I'm drawing a blank. Sorry. But so anyhow, that's a reference to the, song Tecumseh Valley by Townes Van Zandt. But in this song, I kind of, this is not, that's the only connection, I guess. As I said earlier, I played in bars a lot, and some of them were really pretty rough places. Not that many, but I did play in some pretty questionable, pretty rough places. But I learned pretty early on that some of your best musical experiences oftentimes were in some of the roughest places. So, I just kind of usually just went along with it, and there would be a lot of characters in all of the places that I played, but especially the rougher places. So, you learn to pay attention. You learn to pay attention to who is who and who's got what going on and who's trying to get what going on. But so that's kind of how this song kind of came about. But instead of making up names, I just kind of populated it with some people that were sort of blues heroes, and then people that were just people in songs, names from old songs and that sort of thing. So this is called Down at the Bar at Gypsy Sally's. Down at the bar at Gypsy Sally's. Just be cool, you'll be alright. You can pick your pills or pick your poison, but man, you sure don't pick a fight. She's got a shotgun in the corner. She keeps a shiv behind the bar. And if someone tries to play some masquerade, man, they sure won't get too far. Down at the bar at Gypsy Sally's, Stagger Lee is shooting pool. Little Walter's in the alley, making a mess of some poor fool. Lightning's in the corner. Frankie Lee is with the band. When Thelma pulls a pistol out, says she's going to shoot some man. You know, it's not some grand illusion. It's not some wicked dream. The whiskey smells like dynamite and tastes like kerosene. Down at the bar at Gypsy Sally's, no one ever asks your name. Delilah's taking numbers, no one seems to know the game. Caledonia's drinking at the bar, the Wolfman's on the prowl. And just before the sun comes up, you might hear him start to howl. Down at the bar at Gypsy Sally's. Down at the bar at Gypsy Sally's. So kind of remembered what I was going to talk about right there at the beginning of the instrumental break, which was not a good time to start letting my mind wander a little bit there, but I kind of fumbled that. But I was thinking about the Hank Williams songs in these rough places and everything, and I was thinking about, I don't know if many of you have read the Chet Flippo book. It's kind of controversial. It was when it came out. He talks about a lot of different things, but it seemed accurate enough to me. But he goes into the background of Hank Williams and the sort of places that he played in Alabama at that time and how rough they were. He goes into some detail. These were places that were literally out in the woods. You couldn't even call it a club or a bar. This is where the idea of a honky tonk actually comes from. It's sort of romanticized these days, but it really started as a place that was hidden away out in the woods so that the law and authorities would leave it alone. But in the book, the Chet Flippo book, he talks about Hank Williams and the band literally having to run a gauntlet. This is just to get inside to play the gig. These guys would be lined up and all liquored up on moonshine, which I don't know if anybody's had any experience with moonshine. I actually have some in the refrigerator. That's a whole nother story. But moonshine is like, there's no in between. There's no like mild getting a buzz. You go from 0 to 120 just like that. It's just like, it's powerful stuff. It is very, very strong liquor. So people lose their minds on that. And so I think that was the gig for Hank Williams and those sorts of guys and so many of the blues artists. That's where honky tonks really come from, down in the South, those sorts of places, out in the woods, hidden away so that, you know, the cops and the authorities would not come sniffing around. I'm going to do a Hank Williams song, one of my favorites. This is a song that was written by Johnny. I'm going to do a Johnny Cash song, excuse me. One of my favorites, written by Johnny Cash and Bob Dylan. One of the few, or the only one that I know that was written by the two of them. This is called Wanted Man. Wanted man in California. Wanted man in Buffalo. Wanted man in Kansas City, wanted man in Ohio. Wanted man in Mississippi, wanted man in old Cheyenne. Wherever you might look tonight, you might see this wanted man. Well, I might be in Colorado or in Georgia by the sea, working for some man who may not know who I might be. And if you ever see me coming, you know who I am. Don't you breathe it to nobody, 'cause you know I'm on the lam. Wanted man by Lucy Watson. Wanted man by Jeannie Brown. Wanted man by Nellie Johnson. Wanted man in this next town. Well, I've had all that I've wanted. A lot of things I've had. And a lot more than I needed of some things that turned out bad. Well, I got sidetracked in El Paso. I stopped to get myself a map. I went the wrong way into Juarez with Juanita on my lap. Then I went to sleep in Shreveport. I woke up in Abilene, wondering why I'm wanted in some town that's in between. Wanted man in Tallahassee, wanted man in Syracuse, wanted man in Albuquerque, wanted man in Baton Rouge. There's somebody out to grab me anywhere that I might be. And wherever you might look tonight, you might get a glimpse of me. Wanted man in California, wanted man in Buffalo, wanted man in Kansas City, wanted man in Ohio, wanted man in Mississippi, wanted man in old Cheyenne. Wherever you might look tonight, you might see this wanted man. Thank you, baby. Thank you, everybody. Of course, that great guitar lick that comes from, I'm sure, Marty Haggard. I don't think I've actually seen that credited, so I can't say 100%, but that is Marty Stewart. I'm just kind of messing up names just right and left. My apologies, folks. I'm going to read a few more names here, the people that are tuning in. Peter Martin Homer, wonderful singer-songwriter. Peter, I'm so glad you're tuning in. Claudia Gaffey, thank you very much. My friend Dave Loparina. Dave, it's so good you're tuning in. Thank you very much. David and Claudia, our friends up in Silver Lake that live up on the hill. So glad you're tuning in. Larry Muller. Thank you, Larry. Ray Knowles. Thank you, Roy Knowles. Excuse me. Thank you, Roy. Tommy Salcedo over on the west side. Our friend Tommy. Tommy never fails to have a good time. I just love to see that you're watching. Philip Cox, Bonnie Braun in Arizona, Fred Siegmuller in, I can't remember Fred, Chris Newman, excuse me, thank you for tuning in. Shannon Brackett, we have a lot of new listeners, that's wonderful. Ellie Mae, if you're the Ellie Mae I'm thinking of, you might be down there in New Orleans. My friend Steve Chapman, who we grew up together in San Bernardino. He lives in Redlands now with his family. Steve, I'm glad you're listening. Jeff Boyer, glad you're tuning in. Judy Hogan up in, also we go back to growing up in San Bernardino in high school and things, and she's up in the Las Vegas area now. My friend, the great guitar player, singer, songwriter, Tony Gilkison. Tony, I'm so glad you're listening. Tony has moved out here, kind of out by us. We're in Covina here in the eastern San Gabriel Valley, and Tony has kind of moved out, not quite this far, but sort of Pasadena area again, I guess. Dave Irvin, Dave and Beth in Peculiar, Missouri. Dave does a wonderful little live stream himself. Carrie Donahue, thank you for tuning in. Elizabeth Demonge, excuse me, thank you for tuning in. And Toby Baller. So thank you very much, everybody. I'm going to do, I started off the program and sort of talked in an oblique, kind of vague kind of way. I'm just trying not to talk about everything. I mean, I talked about the elections in Georgia, the Senate runoff elections, which we could not be happier about. It may be something that actually saves the world as we know it. It's the actual, what that will actually end up meaning is just unbelievable. But everything else that happened after that, I think we've just been all glued to our television sets and our computers. I know I have been. It's just unbelievable what happened at the Capitol in Congress on Wednesday, and it's still being sorted out. But I wrote this song 2 years ago. I spoke earlier about the first song for the last album before this. Well, this was kind of the first song that I wrote that kind of got me going into a songwriting direction that I ended up, making the latest album, the new album, Love and Desperation. This song is called The World's Gone Crazy. It speaks for itself. I wrote this after watching a kind of a particularly harrowing episode of the Rachel Maddow show. But that was already 2 years ago. That was, they were deep into the Mueller probe, and I'm sure that that's probably what that was about. But, which unbelievably did not turn into anything. So I think we'll all find out in the end just everything that has been going on, and we will continue just to be shocked, be beyond belief. But for now, and I made a video of this song with my friend Ron Resnick that turned out wonderful. So look that up if you get a chance. Also harrowing. The video is Ron used some some pretty frightening images, I guess. So when I wrote this song, I tried to write it with maybe the idea of an old gospel song in mind, you know, the Staple Singers or something like that. Because in my mind, you know, we've been through these things before. You know, our parents and grandparents lived through the Depression and World War, you know, 2 world wars. We haven't been through anything quite like this. But, you know, a few generations back, my great-grandfather fought in the Civil War. So we, you know, the country has been through a lot. So I was just trying to gain that perspective, and not write about things specifically, you know, that apply today. So this is called "The World's Gone Crazy." The world's gone crazy. The world's gone crazy. The world's gone crazy. You'd better hold on to the ones that you love. You know, I walked through the garden. I walked through the valley. And I walked through the city. Yeah, trouble's all over this world. Yeah, the world's gone crazy. The world's gone crazy. The world's gone crazy. You'd better hold on to the ones that you love. Hold on to your brother. Hold on to your sister. Hold on to your mother. Yeah, everybody better just hold on. Yeah, the world's gone crazy. The world's gone crazy. The world's gone crazy. You'd better hold on to the ones that you love. You better talk to the lawyer. Susie said I scared Katie. You better talk to the preacher. You'd better talk to the governor. Yeah, people need some love right now. Yeah, the world's gone crazy. The world's gone crazy. The world's gone crazy. You'd better hold on to the ones that you love. Yeah, the world's gone crazy. The world's gone crazy. The world's gone crazy. You better hold on to the ones that you love. You better hold on to the ones that you love. You better hold on to the ones that you love. Sorry, Katie. So I scared Katie there.
Yeah.
Poor hound dog. Katie does not do well with the fireworks. Most dogs don't. So New Year's was another adventure. We didn't do anything. We wouldn't have done anything anyhow. Well, pretty much stayed home, but just tried to get her through it, and she did okay. She's done better, but she did all right. But massive explosions, so loud, concussive, shaking the house, shaking the windows in our bedroom, just so loud. It's just, I don't know what they're setting off. I just wish they would stop. So I'm going to do a couple of Woody Guthrie songs, seem appropriate with the events of this last week. This first one is one of my favorites. Heartbreaking song, Deportee, or Plane Wreck at Los Gatos. And Woody Guthrie's song about what farm workers, what the people that pick our food have to put up with. And when I first heard this song, I thought, well, this is an old song. We should be correcting this. And now it's been my lifetime, and we have not done any better. So Susie and I contributed to the Dolores Huerta Foundation a couple of months back, and we'll try and make another donation. But this is called Deportee, Plane Wreck at Los Gatos. The crops are all in and the peaches are rotting. The oranges are packed in their creosote dumps. You're flying them back to that Mexican border to spend all their money to wade back again. Goodbye to my one, goodbye Rosalita. Adios mis amigos, Jesus y Maria. You won't have a name when you ride the big airplane, and all they will call you will be deportee. Some of us are illegal and others not wanted. Our work contract's out and we've got to move on. 600 miles to that Mexican border. They chase us like outlaws, like rustlers, like thieves. Goodbye to my one, goodbye Rosalita. Adios mis amigos, Jesus y Maria. You won't have a name when you ride the big airplane, and all they will call you will be deportee. The sky plane caught fire over Los Gatos Canyon. A fireball of lightning, it shook all our hills. Who are all these friends who were scattered like dry leaves? The radio said they were just deportees. Goodbye to my one, goodbye Rosalita. Adios mis amigos, Jesus y Maria. We won't have a name when you ride the big airplane, and all they will call you will be deportee. Goodbye to my one, goodbye Rosalita. Adios mis amigos, Jesus y Maria. You won't have a name when you ride the big airplane, and all they will call you will be deportee. And all they will call you will be deportee. Thank you, baby. Heartbreaking. I got through it without choking up, but I may not get through the next one. Next one is always, I'm arranging the words. I do not know all the words to this yet, but I want to sing Woody Guthrie's This Land Is Your Land. After a week like this, it just seems appropriate. I'm going to sing all of the verses. Some of these, for some reason, are supposed to be controversial. I never quite get that. But I'm also, at some point towards the end, I'm going to sing the Canadian chorus, which, if you want to look that up, it's not a lot different, but it names places in Canada, which I just think is wonderful to include our Canadian friends in this song, because it's all North America. We're all on the same continent. And right now they seem to be doing a lot better than us in a lot of ways, politically and as far as handling the pandemic. So it's not a bad idea to try and stay on their good side, as they say. So anyhow, please join in, sing along. As I said, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 or 8 verses with a chorus in between each time, so that's about 13 or 14. So settle in. Hope you got a drink. And please join in. This land is your land. This land is my land. From California to the New York Island, the Redwood Forest to the Gulf Stream waters. This land was made for you and me. As I went walking that ribbon of highway, I saw above me that endless skyway. I saw below me that golden valley. This land was made for you and me. This land is your land. This land is my land. From California to the New York Island, the Redwood Forest to the Gulf Stream waters. This land was made for you and me. I've roamed and I've rambled, followed my footsteps, the sparkling sands of her diamond desert. And all around me a voice was sounding. This land was made for you and me. This land is your land. This land is my land. From California to the New York Islands, from the Redwood Forest to the Gulf Stream waters. This land was made for you and me. When the sun came shining and I was strolling, the wheat fields waving and the dust clouds rolling, fog was lifting, and a voice was chanting. This land was made for you and me. This land is your land. This land is my land. From California to the New York Island, from the Redwood Forest to the Gulf Stream waters. This land was made for you and me. I knew I'd get choked up. As I went walking, I saw a sign there, and on the sign it said, no trespassing. But on the other side, it didn't say nothing. That side was made for you and me. This land is your land. This land is my land. From California to the New York Island, from the Redwood Forest to the Gulf Stream waters. This land was made for you you and me. In the shadow of the steeple, I saw my people. In the relief office, I seen my people. As they stood there hungry, I stood there asking, was this land made for you and me? This land is your land, this land is my land. From California to the New York Island, from the redwood forest to the Gulf Stream waters, this land was made for you and me. So this is the last verse, so after this verse I'm going to go into the Canadian chorus one time, and then I'll sing the regular chorus that we've been singing. Nobody living can ever stop me as I go walking that freedom highway. Nobody living can ever make me turn back. This land was made for you and me. Canadian chorus. This land is your land, this land is my land. From Bonavista Vista to Vancouver Island, from the Arctic Circle to the Great Lake waters, this land was made for you and me. This land is your land, this land is my land. From California to the New York Island, from the redwood forest to the Gulf Stream waters, this land was made for you and me. This land was made for you and me. This land was made for you and me. Thank you very much. I'm going to do one more song and say goodnight. Again, thank you very much for tuning in. I will be here again next week and every Saturday in January, and then I may go to a more abbreviated schedule after that. I'll just wait and see. Susie mentioned the other night, maybe you should just go through March. That's when you started. So that could happen also, but we'll just see and take it kind of at least the next few weeks and see how that goes. So again, thank you very much for tuning in. Take care. I hate to be a dark cloud, but I think we still have 10 very concerning, 9, 10, or 10 or 11 very concerning days before we get through this. We're not through the danger yet, folks. The madness is still with us. I'm sorry to say, but so be careful. Take care of the ones that you love, as I said in my song. So I'm going to do a song that's kind of hopeful and spiritual and uplifting to me, a song by the Waterboys. And once again, I forgot to look up the other songwriter's name, just like last week. I had it on my list of things to do all week. Lisa, if you're still listening, please post it again for me. I feel ashamed and embarrassed. But this is a song by the Waterboys, written by Mike Scott and the fiddle player of the Waterboys, whose name I have forgotten. So they both contributed to this song. It's a song called The Fisherman's Blues. I sang this song many, many times on train trips, on a train hurtling across the hinterlands of the U.S., and I never took the train up to Canada, although they did trips up in Canada. 80 miles an hour, facing this direction, going that direction. I sang this song many times with my friend Elsaby, playing fiddle beautifully along with it. So sing along if you know it. This goes out to all of my friends in the train tribe, everybody that I spent so much time and so many years riding the rails with, and we hope to again. Well, I wish I was a fisherman, tumbling on the seas, far away from dry land and its bitter memories, casting out my sweet line with abandonment and love. No ceilings bearing down on me, just the starry skies above, with a light in my head and you in my arms. Whoa. Well, I wish I was a brakeman on a hurtling fever train, crashing headlong into the heartland like a cannon in the rain, with the beating of the sleepers and the burning of the coal, watching the towns flying by me in a night that's full of soul, with a light in my head and you in my arms. Whoa. Well, I know I will be loosened from the bonds that hold me fast, and the chains all hung around me will all fall away at last. And on that fine and fateful day, I will take me in my hands, and I will ride upon that train, and I will be that fisherman with a light in my head and you in my arms. Whoa. With a light in my hand and you in my arms. Whoa. With the light in my hand and you in my arms. Whoa. So good night. Thank you again for tuning in. Thank you to my sweet Susie for helping me put these things on and do these things. I could not have ever done better in finding a partner. I don't know how I got so lucky. If I only did one thing right in my life, it was certainly that. So please be careful. Please take care. There is danger in the world right now. So be careful. Take care. And we'll see you all next week.